Unique New York. Unique New York.
Hey, we're already recording.
Has oddly shaped feet.
We're already
Arsonist.
recording.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I was getting warmed up.
Dude, I was like tossing and turning all night long because I was so excited about recording this podcast with you this morning. I was like, my mind was just racing of like things that we could talk about. And
Yeah.
do you ever have that, dude? Do you ever just, your mind just doesn't shut down?
It does. What I can say though is it typically is not in anticipation of hanging out with you.
It's not very nice, man.
No, dude, I've been like, I don't know if it's a mind thing, but I've been waking up like every 2 hours, like waking up. Like I'll wake up, I'll be like, is it time to get up? And I'll look at my clock and it's like midnight. And it's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's 4 o'clock.
I did that last night.
Maybe I should just pick one of those and get up and imagine how productive.
Just get after it.
Yeah, and then be dead by like noon.
Go to bed at 8 o'clock. Go to bed at 8 o'clock. Yeah, take a nap, like our friends in Life and Air do, and then go to bed at 8 o'clock. Good to go, man.
So if you go to bed at 8 o'clock and you wake up at midnight, you're good to go?
No, if you wake up at 3, that's 7 hours of sleep, dude.
That's true. My kids don't even go to bed at 8. So that's going to be problematic.
What?
I also want to highlight one other thing this morning that I am excited about. I think it's adorbs that we were wearing the same hat. Adorbs. I haven't worn this hat for, I would say, 5 months.
Turn mine backwards just so I'd be different.
I was like, you know what? This morning I'm going to wear this hat. And then you came on the screen and I was like, oh my gosh, so cute. And I like had a little teary tear and I thought it was precious.
Adorbs and teary tear.
Yeah, what's up?
I don't
even,
fresh.
I think it's fresh.
I don't even know what to say to that. I was actually waking up a lot when I was doing this 21-day healthy living challenge, when I was drinking 100 ounces of water a day.
Ian.
Because I could not stop going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But like all the time. Man. It was good. It was good, but it is a little bit annoying when you have to wake up like 3 times during the middle of the night to go potty.
Potty. Oh, you're hating on me to go potty. To make a tinkle?
Yeah, you know when you're a dad that you say potty in public on a podcast, or around like a bunch of dudes or at your military command.
Or
just, hey, before we go into this meeting, I gotta go potty.
Admiral. I'm sorry, sir. I'll be right back. I gotta go and make a tinkle. Okay, I'll be right back. Nobody go 9-9 in this meeting. Nobody go 9-9. Okay, it's a serious business.
Potty sounds like kind of normal, but tinkle, oh man, yeah, that's.
I didn't say tinkle. I said tinky. Tinkle. Hey, dude, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about getting healthy, man. We're talking about creating habits that stick, that last. I think we're gonna review this 21-day healthy living challenge, Getting Better Together, that your lovely wife put together, and she challenged us to join. It was pretty cool, man. It made me do some stuff that I'm not normally doing, and some of it stuck, and I'm still doing it, and some of it did not. And we're going to kind of talk through maybe some of the reasons why, and kind of how you build some of the positive habits in your life. And yeah, man, it was good. It was fun. I think we had a few of our listeners join in on that. So I'd be interested to hear how they did.
Yeah, I think, and I think ultimately this is, well, I would say it's health focused, but not really completely. It's not physically. It's not focused on physicality necessarily, um, but I also think it's the real kind of the foundation of it. The base of it is how to be better. Period. Right? How to develop habits and how to turn those habits into lifestyles and those lifestyles into something that it leads to long-term health, success, whatever it looks like. And man, I enjoyed it. And so, real quick, the 21-day health living challenge that we went through had three focus areas. It was the movement, nutrition, and mindset, right? And within each of these, within each of these categories, there were a subset of things you could get points for as a point system. And it was a minimal fee. What is it? $10, $10 to get in.
Yep, $10.
And ultimately, all that money went to a drawing of the top competitors, and then you could win some money. But it just was a minimal fee to kind of get you bought in, and then the actual competition was, you could see everybody's points on a daily basis. Huge spreadsheet, a lot of people. I don't know, there was probably like 80 people that
Yeah,
participated.
80, 90
90
people.
Yeah, it was awesome. And you could see everybody's. So of course, like being competitive, I'm scrolling up and down. I'm looking at, where's Stuart? Oh, where's my wife? Where's Dave Perez? Like I'm looking through these things, but ultimately you had an opportunity to get around 20 points a day. And just to quickly go over them: so movement, show up to an online workout or gym, 3-mile walk or run, or a 9-mile bike, 10 minutes of planking, 100 push-ups or 200 crunches, 10 minutes of jump rope, and 30 minutes of stretching or yoga. And then the next one was nutrition. This is where Stu was constantly peeing. So I drink 100 ounces of water, skip soda and alcohol, eliminate processed sugars, go to bed by 10, take iron, XPEA, complete essentials, adaptogen, elixir, and help manage stress. Eat 5 servings of vegetables, drink an isolene or whole blend shake for a perfectly balanced meal, and plan your meals and shakes for the entire day ahead of time and stick to it. And then finally, mindset: encourage someone else on their health journey, 30 minutes of self-care, write down or share 3 things that you're grateful for today, read or listen to 30 minutes of a book or podcast, spend 10 minutes in silence or prayer, and indulge in one treat, only one, that you really enjoy without any guilt. And then you could get a bonus for doing cleanses, and that's something it's foreign to you.
So, yeah, that whole cleanse day, haven't gotten to that level yet.
Well, I'm curious. So you crushed it, dude. You did it. Like, you were, if not the top point earner every day, you were number 2, but usually neck and neck with someone. I didn't know the other person, but she was crushing it too. But I'm just kind of curious.
It was one of Erica's Isogenics mommy crushers. She was just like crushing it every day, but I think she was doing cleanses too. So that's what got me. So I was the number 1 loser. I came in second place.
Yeah, she did awesome. But I'm curious, like, what were some of the things that you focused on in this challenge, and kind of talk me through it a little bit.
Yeah, man. I mean, so some of this stuff was pretty easy for me. Some of it I was doing already, because we had talked before about, we had like Brianna Greenspan on and doing the Miracle Morning, the savers, and so like essentially like the whole section on mindset I was already doing. That's all like kind of a part of my morning routine, sitting down, having quiet time, reading the Bible, scribing, writing down things you're grateful for, silence and prayer, like all that whole section, that mindset section. I've been focused on that for a long time because I think it's incredibly powerful. And I've found that I really, really need that in the morning, to get my day going in the right direction. I'm a morning person, and we've talked about it before. I wake up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. I'm trying to sleep in now. I'm trying to wake up at like 5 a.m. these days. But that period of time in the morning really is focused on mindset. And so that whole section for me wasn't too challenging because I've been doing most of it already. The movement stuff, the PT, you know, you and I both, like, PT is a part of our daily lives. I wasn't doing all of these things. I typically would just go for a ride on the Peloton bike or go for a run, and that was essentially it. So, a couple things that I started adding into my routine was, the planking. Like, dude, 10 minutes of planking, that's hard. Like,
Yeah, and I raised an objection with my wife for the 10 minutes of planking because I'm like, that is not 1 point. That is not equivalent to 100 push-ups or 200 crunches. So we'll kind of shed light on this challenge we have upcoming, but that was one of the key changes that she made, because that's tough, dude. That is
it's hard.
legit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. I didn't do many days of that. Instead, I would do the 200 crunches or the 100 push-ups. And so I started, I focused on that, adding in push-up sit-ups on a daily basis, which I hadn't been doing. And then the one that I added to my routine that has stuck, is stretching or yoga. And I've started doing yoga more on not every day, but I've started trying to add it into my morning routine, kind of at the end of my mindset quiet time. It's kind of like an extension of the quiet time with a little movement and just kind of that yoga stretching. Dude, it's been awesome, man. Like, I've really enjoyed it because, you kind of get your mindset right, and then you kind of start getting your body right by just stretching it out, and it kind of prepares you for the day for more movement later on, that that higher stress movement of running, biking, push-ups, sit-ups, whenever you choose to do that. And also, it's just an addition to your mindset to get you kind of like in that right mind when the kids start waking up and starts fighting and crying and hustling out the door to get them to school, like, because that whole time is like super crazy, right? And so if you start your mind and your body right, that was big for me. Um, and then the nutrition portion of it, again, some of the stuff, like, was pretty easy. Going to bed by 10, easy. Crush that by like 2 hours.
You probably get like extra credit because you're like, yep, 7:30, I'm in bed.
Yep. Skipping soda. I never drink soda, so that was easy. Alcohol, I typically was drinking like a beer on the weekends, but I stopped doing that during this challenge, and it was good. I mean, I like beer, so I've started drinking beer again. But that was a good little reset. And then doing the shakes, we're doing isogenics on a daily basis, so doing the shakes and doing the ionics and that kind of stuff was super easy. But I hinted on it. The one thing that I am terrible at, that I'm trying to get better at and have gotten better at, is drinking more water. The 100 ounces of water, dude, that's a challenge for me. Um, I'm typically wake up, drink coffee, maybe have a couple sips of water, and then I'll go most of the day without drinking a whole lot. Maybe have, maybe one like 16-ounce bottle of water throughout the day. And then at night with my dinner, I'm drinking like milk or maybe just a glass of water. So, like, drinking 100 ounces of water, dude, super hard for me. And I can't say that I'm doing it every single day, but it has been a priority for me to continue to try to focus on drinking more water. So, does that answer your question? That was a lot.
No, it's good. I think a lot of these things are things that people probably do. Just, I think the element of it that I struggle with on all these things, and also uh, one of the best things about it, for me at least, is the planning element of all of it, is to
Yeah.
not be reactionary, right?
Mm.
So to be very intentional, you have to be intentional to achieve these things, especially like simple things for you, like going to bed. For me, before 10 o'clock is just not, it's just not an easy thing for me, like ever. Like even when I'm like here by myself and it's like 8 o'clock, I'm like, I'm gonna go to bed early, and then I go to bed. Maybe I start reading, and I'm like, my mind's going, and I don't know if I'm naturally like a night owl
I
or
think you
what it
are.
is. I think I am, and I try to fight that. And maybe I need to figure out. And this is one thing I'm seriously thinking about is because I love when you get up early, you just accomplish so much, and there's not a lot of. I mean, when I say so much, I'm like on all these areas, right? You get up, you get in the Word or whatever it is you're doing. You read some, you get your mindset right, and then you go PT,
Yeah,
and
dude, you
and
can
and you
crush
have
like half of this list on a morning session.
you can, and
And that's what I was
and
doing.
it's and I love that element of getting up early. So
Yeah.
I'm usually a 5 o'clock guy. But dude, I just like for some reason at night, I just something kicks on. When they talk about your red, your yellow, and your green zone and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Like I feel like a lot of my green zone is at night, and I don't want it to be at night. But it impacts, and really the biggest challenge with that is impacts my morning.
Yeah.
If you stay up late, then your morning is shot for me. Because when I turned 40, all of a sudden I needed 7 hours of sleep. Dude, I used to go on like 4 to 5 and be fine, like no issues. That is not a reality for me anymore. But my point to all that is I love the plan your meals and snacks for the entire day and stick to it, like
Yeah.
something like that. Like I think as long as you're very proactive, you can achieve a number of goals that that you're not always reacting. If you have your workout set and you go to the gym and you knock it out, or you know what you're going to do, okay. Because a lot of people, I think, well, I shouldn't say a lot of people. Sometimes I'll wake up and I'll be like, do I want to go for a bike ride or do I want to go to the gym? That already puts you in a bad spot.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times for me, because I'm not as disciplined as like you or Erica, I'll be like, do I want to go for a bike ride or go to the gym? And then what ends up happening is I do neither,
Yeah.
because I didn't have that plan in place that just, grab my bag, get in my car, go to the gym and be. So for me, a lot of this stuff, it was the intentionality of it that I really enjoyed. And I'll tell you though, what's interesting, and this is kind of my second question for you. Um, why do you think? Well, do you think? I guess is really the key, and I think for you it's less than me. But do you think that the competition adds another layer of commitment? And kind of a follow-on question to that is, how do you move past being committed and intentional in doing these things? How do you move past the competition being the driver for that into just being better, or kind of having this stuff, um, making it enduring, making these habits something that are going to be just a part of your life? Because once the competition is done, I kind of struggle with
Continuing.
maintaining.
Yeah. So to answer your first question, does competition help do this stuff? Absolutely, like 100%. And just like you're talking about, like I'd be in that spreadsheet and scrolling down and seeing like where everybody's points are and seeing if I'm, leading the charge and having more points than everybody. And, it would motivate me to like do one more thing on the list, to get one more point, and to do the 100 push-ups when, like there were times at the end of the day, like before going to bed, I'd knock out, a 30-minute stretch because I didn't do yoga in the morning, or I'd knock out, some crunches just to get one more checklist and one more point. So, and I think that's with anything, man. Like if you add competition to it, you're gonna do better. Now, the next
So
step of yeah.
one, and I don't mean to interrupt you. I don't want to lose this question or this thought, but is it so when someone's looking at this being a forever thing, is it the competition or is it the accountability?
I don't think it's both, man. I think we all have an inherent nature to be competitive. But then if you are within a group of people that are holding each other accountable to that, it's even more so. And that's what's so amazing about our mastermind groups and small groups at a church, or you know, accountability groups. And dude, your wife, like Erica, she was awesome about that, man. Like she had a group text, you know, of you know, 5, 6 of us, right? And she would do like daily check-ins, like, hey, how's it going, guys? You know, what are you working on today? What have you done today? You know, try to get one extra point. And she was like holding us accountable to that. And it was great. And so I think, you know, there's this list of 80 something people. You're not going to all hold each other accountable. There's not going to be like an accountability to all of those people. But if you kind of group into smaller sections of 5, 6 people and you're kind of pushing each other, dude, it's going to even make it more so where you're successful. And so I think that idea of small groups, masterminds, I think we've obviously found a lot of success in those type of environments. So I think both is where you really succeed. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. And I kind of see the uh that spreadsheet was almost like an accountability, but I agree with you, and we'll kind of touch this in, you know, it's funny because Eric and I have been talking about what what the future of these look like, and if this is something that, you know, because for Erica, this is part of her business, right?
Yep.
She does isogenics, which you and I are huge fans of, and we're huge believers in. And so, you know, these challenges are just kind of you know, an additional part of that for her. It's that holistic thing of fitness, and she's, I mean, for those of the, you know, if anybody knows my wife, you know, I mean, she's a beast, right? Like she's always in the gym. She's very fit. You know, I don't know if you knew,
Way more
if
than
I
you.
told you, way more than me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll choke her out, but still, but she loves when I say that. But you know, even to the level of, like, I don't know if I told you, but so she has a torn ACL.
Yeah.
Went to the doc, and the doc's like, yeah, I don't even want to operate on it because you've been so diligent in your exercises that, like, it's basically stabilized, which is it's kind of crazy,
It's
right?
crazy, dude.
It is like the primary stabilization ligament of your knee, and when they do the knee tests, they're like, yeah, I don't, it doesn't even, you don't even register on having a torn ACL. But the thing when they do the MRI is like, it's gone. And so the only reason I highlight that is for her, this whole, she's not just pushing products. She's a believer in the whole person. She's doing mindset stuff. She's going on conferences. And I think the I think with what you just hit on, you know, we have this challenge that we have coming up in November that we'll talk about here in a sec. But we've been talking, Eric and I, about this small group aspect, and she's like, I think you guys should. She's like, I'm not going to do it for you, and I want you to be a believer, but I think you guys should create a small group. And I'm like, actually, that's pretty, would be pretty awesome, right? Like 5, 6 guys, like just like what you just said.
Yeah.
And that spreadsheet gets a lot smaller, and you don't have to scroll and you see what everybody else is doing. You're like, oh dang, man, I got to do something. Like I can't be the bottom dude like every single time. Like
Yeah.
I got to get into it, right? The
Well,
competition. Go
it's
ahead.
funny you say that, because remember the challenge that we did with that James Gray ran for
Yeah,
the
let's talk
burpee
about that. Yep.
challenge. Well, he had like 3 groups, right? And
Yep.
so you were looking within your group, within your team, you know, where you stood, because like you didn't want to be like the guy that's bringing the least to the table.
Right.
And yeah, there'd be like every single day, there'd be like 1 or 2 more. You do 1 or 2 more burpees just to be like one ahead of everybody else. And I mean, it started with
Yeah.
100 burpees, but then it was like 105, 110, 120,
Yeah. Well,
300.
I started going up one a day, and then Long,
Yeah, Marcus Long.
Marcus Long, he keyed in on mine. So he's like, he started doing one more.
Yeah.
So depending on who posted, so I usually posted first based on time, you know, he's out in Europe. And then I look at his, and I started noticing his is one more than mine. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, so I started going up 7 a day.
Yeah.
And so he would do one more than this, you know, so he started going up 7.
Yeah.
And we ended up, dude, at the end, I actually hurt myself at the end there, because if you missed a day, you had to make up. So there were days where I was doing like 300 burpees,
Yeah.
and the last day I tried to do it for speed. That's what it was. I was like, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do something different. I'm just gonna try and go for speed and do 100 as quickly as I can. And I ended up hurting like both shoulders, and my hip, and I'm like, what in the world? It was
Yeah.
like the last day, But it was awesome because it would totally kept driving you to do better, to do more, and I think that's a magic formula, right? It's the like-mindedness, getting with a group of people that push you to make you better. It's accountability, the challenge element of it. Some people are not as competitive, right? Some people are like, dude, I'm hitting the things that are good for me, but the accountability part of it,
Yeah.
to answer your question, I think the accountability part of it is actually much more important than the competition part of it.
Yeah.
Because that's actually can be enduring, and you can grow together. You're not trying to, you're actually, I think the focus is different. Competition, you're trying to win. Accountability, you're trying to build.
Mm.
And so, if I'm holding you accountable, I truly want you to be better. And there's an
Yeah.
element, if you and I are competing, it's a fun competition. I want to brag and beat you. But if it's accountability as a focus, I'm not trying to beat you. I want you to be better.
You're trying to lift each other up and help each other all grow together.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's what I love about a smaller group. And I think that's where the difference is. And for someone like me, I need accountability. I would say that I'm surrounded by
Yes, you do.
the people I talk to. Yeah. The people I talk to on a daily basis are you and my wife, right? Like those are the two people that I will absolutely be talking to every day, pretty much no matter what.
Does your wife get jelly?
No,
You
she
sure?
doesn't. Because a lot of times, see, my wife is different. She's like, why don't you call Stu and talk about that?
That's awesome.
Like, I'm done talking to you today. Like,
That's fun.
honey. But my point is, you and her are very similar in that you're both, I would put you guys in the very disciplined bit. Like you're both very disciplined. And dude, I'm not only in like business and life, like the squirrel thing, like that's how I am, even with the gym. Like I'm always, I'll have a focus. And when I get in there and do it, I would argue that there's not a lot of people that are going to outwork me in there, but to get me in that spot and to have a plan and to have that and execute it, dude, it's a chore for me.
Yeah. Well, that's, I mean, remember the test we took, like Action Taker was like my number one thing on the list there. And, being a pilot and I'm a checklist guy, right? Like if you put a checklist in front of me, man, I'm going to knock it out. Like I'm going to get every check in that box, like no matter what. And so for me, like I thrive off of like taking action and like doing things on a list. I'll even like write things on a list after I've already done it, just to check the box.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a mindset thing, right? And we've both read this book and talked about it before, Atomic Habits by James Clear. And I was thinking about what we were going to talk about today, and looked up. It reminded me of some quotes in that book, and going back to like being healthy and who do you want to be, right? And he talks about one of the quotes I love that he wrote is, every action you take is a vote for the type of person that you wish to become.
Yeah. Yep.
And there's no single instance that will transform your beliefs, but as the votes build up, so does the evidence of your new identity. So like if you have an idea in your mind of who you want to be, or like the book Indistractable, like your values, like what are your values? And James Clear is like, don't write goals, create systems and create processes and do things every single day. Like consistent daily input is going to, votes, if you will, is going to create evidence of this new identity. So, think about who you want to become. Do you want to be healthy? Do you want to be strong? Do you want to have a great mindset? Like, do you want to be You want to be running around playing soccer with your kids when you're 50 years old. Like, what are the things that you want to do? Who do you want to become? And what are the values that are important to you in your life? And then create systems and processes every single day. And that's what motivates me. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. And it's funny. I was thinking about that the other day. I wasn't attributing it to that quote directly because I couldn't remember where it came from. But it was, I think in that book, it also talks about it. Basically, these things that you do become who you are and the way you frame that in your mind. And so I was actually headed to the gym. I was planning out some workouts, and I kept telling myself, and it made me feel great, and I loved it. But I kept telling myself, this is who I go to the gym.
yeah,
This is who I am.
yeah,
I am a gym goer.
goer.
I'm a gym rat. I'm a
Yeah,
gym person. Like, this is something that I hold to be sacred in my life
yeah. It's not,
because
it's
of,
not, I want to lose 10 pounds. It's, I go to the gym.
yeah,
That's who I am.
it's not I want to go to the gym. It's, should I go to the gym today? Do I want, no, it's I go to the gym, period.
Yep.
That is who I am. When people know me, a part of what I want people to know about me, I want them to know that I love Jesus. I want them to know that I love my wife. I want them to know that I love my children. I want them to know that I love my friends, that I'm a loyal friend, that I'm a person that can be counted on in all those aspects. And then I want people to know the things that are important to me. I want them to know that PT and physical health and mindset and all these things are extremely important to me. And I am a person who eats a lot of veggies, and I am a person who eats healthy. I'm not a person who goes to McDonald's. Like, those things, like it's
Yeah.
a different way to frame it, because I think if you tell yourself, and you like, it is a desire of mine that those things that I highlighted, that people see that. It will break my heart if I know somebody and I've known them for a while and they're like, "Oh, you're a Christian?" I would be like, "Man, that's tough." Or they see me and they see my actions and they're like, "Oh, you care about mental, physical, and spiritual health?" Like, that would break my heart, dude,
Yeah.
because because what people see and the way that they see you identify yourself, that comes through, and the way that they see you identify yourself and the way that they then assess who you are, that is who you are.
Yeah.
So if your actions speak louder than your words, so if you are not portraying and living a lifestyle that shows the things that are important to you, then stop talking about it. My wife always tells me, she's like, stop talking about stuff. Just do it. And I'm like, I just want to talk about a couple things, okay? Because like
Go,
I'm not
go call
I'm like
Stu.
right. I'm like the more visionary. Like I'm pegged in different areas. But at the end of the day, dude, it doesn't matter how much vision you have. It doesn't matter how many goals you set until you take action and do it. And whether that's through an accountability group, or maybe you're just more disciplined, like you and Erica, or whatever it is, until you do it, it's not who you are.
Yeah.
It's not that important to you. It's, if you're not doing it, it's really not that important to you.
Right. It's good, man. It's good.
Yeah, dude.
What,
That convicts me, man. It really convicts me because because I am very, dude, I've realized, especially being by myself, my family's out in Colorado. Like, I've realized how impulsive I can be, like, good and bad, right? Like, okay, like, I just feel like working out right now. I'm just gonna work out or get in the word or read or whatever. But I also realize that, like, sometimes I can, I'll go on YouTube to it'll start by wanting to hear like some of these Moto University, I can't remember what they're called, like some of these good messages or a podcast or something. And I'll end up on like Kevin Hart videos, just laughing, right? And I'm like, how did I get here, and where did this last half hour go? Like, I
yeah.
just completely wasted my time, but it wasn't something I thought. It was just bam, it was just impulsive, and I just did it, right? Or even like, I've really cleared out like my refrigerator and the pantry and stuff, like stuff that was still left over from the kids. And don't tell my wife this, and she'll probably listen, but like, there's like certain things that I've just thrown away because I'm like, I just don't need. I know if I see this and I'm in a mood of a sweet tooth, for example,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get after it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even gonna think about it. It's not even gonna be a thought. I'm just gonna do it. And so I just, on impulse, I take that stuff and I throw it in the trash because I don't want to be in that spot. And
Yeah.
so I think there's, you know, I think we have to be self-aware of these things that motivate and drive us. We also have to put them in the context of who we want to be. And then you have to surround yourself by the people that will hold you accountable to, or that you're going to look to or be embarrassed to admit to them that you did certain things. Um, and those are the action steps to help you become the people that you want to be, to truly be defined as the person. It doesn't matter if somebody else, like, it doesn't matter to me what somebody else thinks necessarily, but if they're not seeing the things that are important to me, I'm doing something wrong.
Right. It's not about how they think. It's about really internally how you want to be seen.
Right. And am I honoring those things that I'm saying are important? My wife is important to me. Okay, cool. Are you telling her you love her? Are you building her up? Are you supporting her in her endeavors? Are you, when she presents this idea for Brovember, are you excited? Or are you like another person who's a detractor from that?
Yeah.
Am I, am I, if I say my kids are important, and am I dating my wife? Am I dating my wife? Is it really important to me? Am I doing the same with my kids? Am I picking them up? Am I trying to be involved? Am I talking to them? Am I forcing them to sit down and look me in the eyes and tell me how their day was? Or am I getting the check in my block? Well, I asked them and they said, well,
And
that's
looking
not
at
good
my
enough.
phone at the same time.
And looking at my phone, am I putting it down? What am I doing? Am
Yeah.
I a good friend? Am I a good friend? And you
Eh,
know the best way to, I'm a
eh,
freaking phenomenal friend. I don't even have to ask.
eh.
But you know what you can do? A good action item is
What's that?
ask. Ask. And it makes people uncomfortable. Like, you're not like a, you know, you don't want to talk about your feelings. I'm like, Stu, hey dude, let's sit down and let's give ourselves each other feedback on what kind of business partner and friends that we are. Because it's important. And if it's important, then you'll live in that uncomfort. You'll thrive in the uncomfort. You'll thrive in the discomfort of having hard conversations and truly trying to figure out how you can be better. And it's not a session of, hey, tell me how awesome I am. That's bullcrap, right?
Yeah.
It's hey, where am I failing and how can I be better? And then be open enough to receive that feedback and do something about it. And if you're not really willing to do something about it, then don't ask. Don't ask me because I'll give you feedback, right? And it's all about being better. It's not about the criticism. It's about being better and how deeply do you want that? And it is a deep desire of mine to hit those things that I was talking about.
Yeah. Well, you asked me, but kind of over to you. What after this 21-day health challenge, what stuck? You know, what have you continued to do, if any of it, that you weren't doing before?
Yeah, I got myself a handy dandy, very bright, it was on clearance, very bright workout notebook,
Nice.
because when it's sitting out, like, it's very easy to notice. I have a number of notebooks that I do different things in, but this one is like, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Um,
Bright
you know,
pink.
here's a stack of notebooks that I'm actively engaged in, and
Nice.
this one is just like, you know, it's out there. So it's a constant reminder. Try to be much more intentional about the gym workouts and planning these things out. Planning meals, I'm not that great at it still, but trying to be way less reactive. Um, and so a lot of the things I was also doing, like the 100 ounces of water, that's something I've been doing for a while. So, you know, that's, you know, skipping soda and alcohol. Those things are just, you know, like you said, I never drink soda and alcohol. You know, I was drinking more than I am now, and backed off of that a little bit. But really, it's the ones that I really want to, that I haven't been honoring as much, is the movement stuff, the workout stuff, and uh, the go to bed, man. I think that go to bed thing is so critical
Yeah.
because it sets a tone for your entire day. And that's one that I'm really trying to honor, and I just suck at it, dude. I suck at it. I've tried to do this for a number of challenges, and I'm not very good. So,
When you
I
start
would
calling
say
you,
like, what's that?
if I'm going to bed at 8 o'clock Mountain Time, it'll be 10 o'clock East Coast time, and I'll just call you and be like, dude, go to bed.
Yeah,
Will that
yeah.
help?
It may, yeah, it may, because it's awesome because I'm always
I
like,
got
I'll
an
go to
idea.
bed and I'm
I
like,
have an idea. How about if I call at 8 and you are awake at 10, you then have to give a certain number of money to a charity that's awful.
it's awful. What do you
Yeah,
mean it's awful?
like a charity that we don't support.
Okay, all right. Like the Cat Foundation.
Yeah, like the
Like my
kitty cat.
cat found out. Oh, disgusting.
No offense to any cat lovers out there, but
No offense to any cat lovers, but your cats are gross. No, like,
I'm gonna
I,
find a cat
so gross.
shelter, and you're gonna have to give money to a cat shelter
It
if
won't
you're
be
at
hard, dude.
past 10
It won't be
o'clock.
hard.
That's gonna be a part of Brovember.
Give money to a cat shelter.
Yep.
And it can't be like a shelter that euthanize. No, I'm just totally kidding. Totally joking. We love kitties here. Wow. My kids love kitties, dude, but they'll get one when they move out of my house. Yeah, man. And I think my kind of last question for you is, how do you make this enduring? And I don't know if you necessarily have to come up with the A to Z plan. These questions weren't pre-planned, so Stu didn't really know I had a list of questions for him. But I'm just curious, like right off the kind of top of your head, like is it constant competitions, which may be awesome,
Yeah.
or is it like, how do you make this stuff enduring?
It's a good question, man. I've never really thought about it. I think competition is good, and I think the more of these we do, the more often you're creating habits, those habits will stick in the long run. Like drinking water. During the competition, I was forcing myself to drink 100 ounces of water every day because I was competing and I was being held accountable. Am I doing that now? No. But am I drinking more water than I was before the competition? Absolutely. Because it's now kind of more on my mind of that's probably good to do because there's so many health benefits to drinking more water. So I'm going to start drinking more water. If we do another competition where I'm forced to drink more water, over time, I think I'll continue to start drinking more and more water over time and building that habit, building that process and that system. So I think that's really good. But to more so the accountability piece, man, I think that's huge. Like if you can continuously surround yourself with people that are pulling you up, holding you accountable, um, wanting to grow with you, I think being continuously in a group like that is just huge, man. So I think that truly is the way that you really have sticking power to something like that. And then just that mindset shift,
Sticking power or staying power?
both sticking and staying.
Yeah, no, that's good. It's good.
Yeah. But just
you have
having that
stinking power. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I totally derailed you. Please go ahead.
You derailed me, dude.
Stinking power.
Stinking power. Just having that mindset shift of like who do you want to be, and creating those habits and those processes that will continue to push you to get better every single day. And I think that's just surrounding yourself with people that are going to help you do that. When you know where you have faults and where it's challenging for you.
Yeah, dude. Love it. Love it, man. Well, hey, we are going in November, and a lot of time November is mustache November, whatever it is, and
Movember,
and obviously I've never partaken because I can't grow a mustache. But
I did. Remember that mustache
awesome.
I had in Italy?
I
when we were out
loved it.
there? Dude,
Loved it. It was legit.
my wife
I think you
hated
should do
it.
that. I think you should do that just cause anyways. But Erica shot me this flyer. I was taking a look. I love it. We're going to do this called Brovember, and really it's another health and wellness challenge. A couple things here. So one, we're big believers in taking action. And while, growing a mustache and bringing awareness, it's all fun stuff. I think there's a lot of fun to that. I don't know how much, the average person, when they grow a mustache, if they're talking about men issues or giving money to things, but I'd say let's flip it up a little bit and turn it into something that is action oriented. And I think making ourselves better, being in accountability groups and challenging ourselves from a nutrition movement and mindset perspective, I think is a great way to do that. And so, we'll post this flyer on our socials, and what I would love to do, we're looking at starting November 1st, another 21-day challenge. What I would love is, if you're interested in joining our small group or setting up a small group, reach out to us. Now, it has been proven with the social medias, and when you put something out like this on a podcast, most people are not going to reach out, right? But it's just 90% of people that are participating in these things are us reaching out to them. So there are going to be people out there listening to this podcast that I'm going to be reaching out and challenging. I've already got a list. We've got a list of people that we want to have, join this challenge. But if you are interested, hit us up. We want to create some small groups, create a fun challenge, but it's also a great opportunity to fellowship. It's a great opportunity to hold each other accountable to upping our game in the physical, mental, and spiritual realms. And so I'm excited about it. I'm actually really excited about it. Erica just sent me this yesterday, and I'm pumped to get after another challenge. But more so, I think the shift for me has been, I'm going to be actively reach out to people to bring them into my group, into a group. And this is something that I want us to start doing on a regular basis, setting these challenges, creating groups. And then I think it would be awesome is maybe a year down the line, we have like 10 different groups, and we're all on opposing groups, and we're like trying to crush it in challenges and also be better, and who knows where this could go. Because I think that accountability really opens the doors to some relationship building, getting better. And so I'm actually really excited about this.
Yeah, dude, for sure, man. There's some of these elements. I think another, back to kind of to a question that you asked about, how do you make long lasting impact and change? Two things come to mind, and this is all part of these challenges. Is one, planning, right? If you're not planning for anything, you're going to fail. Yep. And there's we talked about the, I remember I was talking about I listened to Jesse Itzler talk about, he plays life on offense. And what does that look like? It looks like planning, like sitting down and having a plan for your year, your months, your week, your days. And every single night, you sit down and you plan out your day, what it's going to look like the next day. And that's a part of this challenge, is planning out your meals, right? What are you going to do? Planning out your workouts, planning stuff out. So planning. The other one is setting up your environment correctly. And just like you said, like if there's things in your refrigerator, if there's things in your pantry that you'll eat, change the environment, dude. Like throw it away.
Yeah.
If you want to change your environment, get around people that you want to be around that's going to hold you accountable. Be a part of a mastermind group. So planning and changing your environment, I think, are two huge things that will really put you on the path of success.
Yeah, I love that, dude. And it's not just that stuff, right? It's like everything. Like, okay, so you want to save money. All right, analyze where your money's going. Do an assessment of all the things that
you
subscribe to.
Yeah.
Do a budget, but look at all the stuff you're subscribed to and clean that refrigerator out, right? If you don't want to have all this stuff that $300 a month of cable and whatever, like you don't want to be sitting there wasting time doing that kind of, I shouldn't say wasting time. Some people have, love watching shows and binging, and that's their release, and that's how they find, that's how they get their relaxation on. But if there are things that you're assessing that you want to change, then exactly. Take an assessment and do it. Cancel things. Get rid of stuff. Throw stuff out. Give some things away. Partner, like you and I are partnering on a on a YouTube subscription because we can get some football games but it's not worth both of us having
Separate
cable
accounts.
because like we just don't. TV's just not that big of a time where we spend a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I love what you said, man. We always say, look at your checkbook and your calendar to see what's important. Well, why not set those in advance? Why not set those way in advance? Why don't you plan out a family vacation? Hey, this is important to me. I'm going to put a deposit and this is now on the calendar. That's a commitment, right?
Yep.
That's a commitment to a family vacation or whatever it is. This conference that I see, this is 6 months away, but this is important to me. Here's my deposit, pay it in full, whatever, and it's now on the calendar and you do it. And date night, same thing. All these things, right? Plan them out. I love it, dude. I love it. I'm fired up. I think this 21-day challenge is going to be sweet. I anticipate, a couple people potentially hitting us up would be awesome. We'd love to form some groups. We're going to reach out to some folks tomorrow. We're going to start being very active and getting people involved. And then we're going to get at it.
Get
at it, boy.
After it. Get
Yes.
after it.
Get fired up, Stu.
I like it.
Fired up.
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy.
Brovember. Be ready.
Brovember.
All right.
All right, man.
Can I get a high five? Can I get a fist bump? French fries? All right, ladies and gents, hope you enjoyed this. Come join us on Brovember. Hit us up. There's a few of you that we will hit up. And hey, share this podcast. We'd really appreciate it if you tell somebody about it. Take a screenshot, post it on your socials. Tag David because he's all over socials all the time. Like he looks at especially Facebook. He's over Facebook all the time. So tag him on a Facebook post. We would also really love some 5-star reviews. That would be super cool.
Super cool.
If you give us a 5-star review, maybe we'll let you join our Brovember group. Maybe.
You're dumb. But I love you. And
you guys have an amazing day. Fill your storehouse. And
make it a great day, my friends.
See ya.
Great day. See ya.